Oh, look, I came on whistling because we're so happy. It's Thankful Thursday Reflections out there on the Gratitude and Appreciate Summit International Facebook page. Miss Cathie, how are you doing? Oh my gosh.
I am absolutely fabulous tonight, Jeanette. It is so good to see you.
Miss Cathie with a K, and we have Miss Cathie with a C with us tonight.
Absolutely, just to get us all confused.
As long as the gratitude's here, that's all we matter. That's
absolutely. Welcome everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to talk about our favorite topic, gratitude. And I can't think of a better person to help us with that dialogue and conversation than Cathie Peterson, way down in the warm, sunny California area. We're up, well, it's cold. It's a little cold up here, but not too bad. We're getting sunshine this weekend, Jeanette. So no more rain. So welcome, Cathie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're so thrilled to have you. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Oh gosh. So I am, I guess I've been in Send Out Cards about 6.5 years now. And prior to that, I had my own little e-commerce store where I sold fair trade items, like from artisans from around the world, because I really love the whole idea of supporting these artisans. But one of the things that I did in my store is I created, and this is why Send Out Cards is just like an extension of this. It's so me. So I created these little cards and I called them Whisper of Kindness cards. So they're just little, they're about the half size of a business card. And I did different photos on the front. This is one of my son jumping off of a building in China. And then I put a quote or something on the back. So on the back of this one, it says, "Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway." It's a John Wayne quote.
Yeah.
Thank you for your bravery. So I would give these out to people. And in my store, I'd always have a little bowl of them, you know, among my display. And my thing was, it only takes a whisper of kindness. So if they were Whisper of Kindness cards, so it only takes a whisper to change someone's whole day.
Yes.
So I always told people to take one for themselves and to take one to give away. And I was doing that prior to Send Out Cards. And then when I got introduced to Send Out Cards, it was like, oh my gosh, now I can make big Whisper of Kindness cards. So
I can go big.
So it just kind of went together with my whole philosophy of, you know, my mom was a light in the room, right? And I always wanted to be like her. She lit up every single room she went into. She could talk to anyone. And we used to call her Funny Grandma. That was her name. You know, my kids called her Funny Grandma when she would introduce herself as Funny Grandma. And she was just a joy.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
That was what I always tried to emulate. And
well, I don't think you try. You have succeeded.
Yes.
You are that spirit for sure. And I know we've made that connection when we've met in person, and it's just beautiful. I love how you talk about that, because I just changed my wall. I've had since Christmas time, just before Christmas, I had a kindness wall outside my classroom because I'm a teacher. And it was a kindness wall, say something kind about someone. And our whole school is doing basically a gratitude and kindness environment. Like, it's plastered all over the school, but they sort of took it off of my wall, and that's okay. Anyway, today I changed my wall. I'm supplying stickies to kids to grab, to put in their pocket.
Oh,
so like, I am awesome. Like, I need to feel awesome today. So they'll take that sticky, put it in their pocket, and it's with them all day long. So I've done a whole bunch of that. I got that idea from a friend of ours, a mutual friend in Calgary. And Christine. So thank you, Christine, for the awesome idea. And oh my goodness, it's going like crazy. I can't keep up. Because we're in some crazy times, and the schools, there's this heavy weight. There's this heavy weight in there. I don't know what it's like down there in California, but we're in masks all day long, inhaling and not, and it's like, can we just be free? You know, can we just be open and free to do what we would like to do and feel good about ourselves and the mental health piece of it. Oh, so I love that. Little cards like that. I might have to do that, Jeanette. I might have to do that.
I want to dial it back a bit because there's something I want to unpack. I tend to interview a lot of people, and Cathie, I'd love to know why the modality of something tactile. Like why wasn't it just you made it a point of creating a sheet in your store that you just counted going, oh, I'm going to make sure I say happy, a kind word to everybody today. That methodology of self-accountability to change the world. So why the modality of creating something, a thing, to be able to keep it going? So I'd love to know your rationale.
Okay. So I think when I was creating them, I really liked the whole idea of something lasting, right? Something that you can say you have a beautiful smile to someone, and that might, change their day. But if you give them a card, a beautiful flower for a beautiful person, that's something that they can pull out later and see. And it's funny because I've been passing these out, I had my store for probably 4 years before, and into send out cards, I was still doing my store for a year or so. And this became, it's so funny because you should see, this is my office where I have still my inventory I still have some of my inventory. So I had this whole big table of all of this inventory, necklaces and bracelets and, wooden puzzles and all these things. But it was these little cards that people, I don't know, I can't explain it. It really, being able to take something, and when I told them, not only could they take one for themselves, but to take one to give away,
right?
It changed the vibration. I don't know. I can't
I love that.
explain it. It was just something that was so concrete. It was so
there's the magic word right there, concrete. Yeah. And when I work with different clients to set ourselves differently, and this is what the send out cards is great. And when people take to writing a card or sending a beautiful email or showing up with flowers, I said to a mortgage broker, and we all know mortgage rates and dollars and cents and stuff. And I said, how cool would it be that if you took a card and you put 2 pennies in it? You still have pennies in Canada. We don't, but everybody's got jars of them. It's like to put 2 pennies inside that card and go, some people want to, no, 3. Some people want to give you your 2 cents worth. I want to give you a little bit more. And, like 3 pennies to make it tactile. And it's much like when we get that card in the mail, it's memory printing. It's so much of our hearing modality, that rip. It's that pulling it out, and that also the smell, because sometimes they smell delicious because they're just freshly printed. And that feeling, that kinetic feeling, if it's a flippy uppy card, and then that final kinetic, the visual, and then the kinetic of honoring it. Where am I going to put this so I can always remember it or go back to it? And whatever that is for you. And it could be, because we know Monica creates great little swaggy pieces, whether it's a beautiful pen or a mug or something that's going to keep the appreciation part of the action of us feeling grateful for people in our lives. Like, awesome. Well, and it doesn't take $1 million either to do it.
It doesn't. And that's the whole thing. It's the action of the gratitude.
Yes.
Right? It's the action.
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. I love that idea.
I'm going to share with you a little bit that this past couple of weeks, Cathie, if I have these beautiful epiphanies, I got to get them out, is I truly believe we need to give, to ask. And that's how we all live our lives, especially in this last 2.5 years, is that we need to tithe 10% of our time, currency, our money to church or community, whatever that looks like, 10%. money to your church or community. We need to tithe 10% to our business community. And by you kind of spending that 10% of your money to give those away, and you know what the result is out there, people? You can comfortably live on 80%, but you're creating a 20% void in your life to receive.
Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very well put. Very well put.
So, and by time, I don't mean if we don't have a lot of cash sometimes, but we have time currency.
Mhm.
Time currency is creating something like Cathie, what you did is just, I can feel the awesomeness in those back pockets with what you're creating, Cathie.
Yeah.
I can feel it with the students right now in schools. I can feel it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Magnificent, Cathie. Cathie and Cathie.
Yeah. Cathie's rock, Cathie. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
So nowadays, it's so important to, I'm in a BNI chapter, a networking group.
Yep.
And we're still virtual here. Some are going back, but our chapter is still virtual. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is when someone gives a keynote, everyone writes in chat, oh my gosh, it's a great keynote, all these things. But you're so busy when you're giving the keynote that you don't have time to even go back and look at that. And it's like, oh my gosh, all of that stuff is just going.
I know what you're doing with that.
I do that too.
You have to capture it because
Yeah.
this is something that
Brilliant.
it just goes away. And by preserving it costs me nothing, right? It's just a few minutes of my time to capture that chat and put it on a card.
Yeah.
And this has meant so much to people in my BNI, and because they don't get to see that. I mean, it's all there if they took a minute to go see it, but it's already gone by the time they finish. And then, they're nervous and they're getting everything, it's just, if you can capture those moments for people and make them tangible.
There's the lesson today, Cathie, with an F.
Absolutely.
Capture those math.
That is the lesson. Tangible gratitude. Tangible gratitude. Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, Cathie, it has been
gratitude.
so awesome having you on tonight. I know we're short and quick, but I know everybody's busy out there. Thank you so much for coming on. We have our wonderful, we're going to spread some kindness out there.
Oh,
We
nice.
warm up our hands because we got to get it in front of our hearts and get the heart and warm it up. And a right and a left. We're going to make a heart as best you can. We're going to pump it 5 times because this was a 5 times amazing Thankful Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kindness out to the world.
Yeah. I can feel the love. I can feel the love. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on tonight, whether it's live or in a replay. Share your thoughts. How are you going to give a tangible gratitude this week?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Cathie, again for joining us tonight.
Pleasure.
And we'll
Thank you,
see
Cathie.
everyone next week on Thankful Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.